I just want to take a couple of minutes before lunch and run through what we did with the workshop a couple of years ago and how we scaled that up through a launch sequence and what we've done with the product since and some revenue numbers and stuff like that. So you get a bit of an idea of what's actually possible. So who here was actually at the first workshop? I know there's definitely a few faces at the first OPM workshop. Cool, 3 or 4. Who's bought the course? Anyone bought the course? Cool, so a lot of hands are still down, so I've got some customers. Sweet. All right. So what we did is basically we ran a workshop at a hotel in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Where was it?
Bell Street, Preston.
Bell Street, Preston. So it's not quite middle of nowhere, but it was sort of out of the way a little bit to keep our costs down because it was all about cash flowing it from a product perspective, as Dave mentioned. So ran the workshop. It was a 4-day workshop, and what we did, we just talked about what we do to grow our outsourcing team. So we covered everything from how we go about hiring people, where we hire them, the job ads we run, how we make them self-select themselves, how we interview them, the contracts we use, the daily management scenarios, how we actually run our systems for our teams, how we communicate, and really opened up the kimono and really shared everything we do of our own internal systems because it was for Dave and my team as well, so we could scale up our outsourcers and have them run and manage the team themselves. So it was two sort of birds with one stone. It was about creating a course we could sell, but also creating the systems we could then have our team watch and implement to grow and hire future employees. So that was the first workshop. What we did then is actually a little bit later, a couple of years down the track, we actually ran a second workshop, more advanced version, which was then actually coupled into the product. So the example I'm going to run through in terms of numbers and the launch with the Market Samurai guys was all on a launch for the very first workshop. What we've subsequently done is ran a second workshop, and that's now included in the course. And that was more advanced stuff. So it was aimed at people who've gone through the first workshop and all those training materials and wanted a bit more advanced stuff. So we actually had some guests come in from overseas who flew in, who run big teams in the Philippines to actually speak at the event and give some more advanced strategies as well. So when we've actually relaunched the product, we now have 2 products in one. So it sort of helped really increase that thud factor of the product. So rather than selling it as a secondary course, we actually bundled it in as now 2 courses for the price of 1. So in terms of what was actually finally produced in the current version of the product, is it's got 14 hours worth of content. So the reason I'm giving you this breakdown of what's in the product is to give you an idea of like the thud factor. It's kind of a term was used pre-internet when you actually delivered a product in the mail and it created a big thud on the kitchen table. It was an impressive thing. So you want to sort of create that thud factor. So if you do an 8-hour workshop, you're going to end up having about 7 hours of final content when you take out this is the toilet and this is the break and make sure you clap now kind of stuff that your editing team will cut out. But we basically did it very, very raw. So it was pretty much unedited. So 2 workshops gave us 14 hours worth of content, which, if you think about when you're buying courses online and things you invested in, what is 14 hours worth of training material worth as a price point? It's got some significant weight to it, which is really important. We then did the MP3 recordings, as Dave said. So we ripped out the audio version for people who like to listen in the car while they're traveling, whatever it might be. And for weirdos like Dave and I, we also provided a 2-speed version because at the time, a lot of the audio apps you used to listen to didn't have the 2-speed option in the app. You might now know if you listen to podcasts, you can kind of increase the speed. It's kind of common these days. And clearly you know that I've been doing this for a while because I speak fast because everything I listen to is at 2-speed. But that's sort of what we provided as well, just to sort of add that little bit of thud factor. Had the transcription done. And then obviously we gave away the workbook too. So there's obviously a lot of content in that actual product that's available. So what we did after that, if I can hit this button correctly, beautiful, was the launch. This is the launch of the first workshop. So it didn't have the second workshop element in the product. So you can now sort of see that the value is available. So what we did was with the Market Samurai guys, we did a helpful product launch. So we took the sort of marketing angles that Timmy Wimmy spoke about this morning and actually did a helpful product launch. So it was actually not a closed launch, we had to opt in first or anything like that. It was to Market Samurai's existing community. So it was a blog-based launch. So we did some really high-end content where there was like article written by Samurai guys to pre-frame the content. Then we came in as experts to actually provide additional content and teaching, helpful marketing around outsourcing. So we did a whole bunch of videos over a series of a couple of days for their blog. And in terms of, to give you an idea of how the helpful side of things works, just one of the blog posts got 159 comments. And this is one of them. This is a great video. It's simple, effective. Someone else replied, I agree, it's a super video. So it's very much taking this helpful approach that Timbo spoke about in actually giving away free content. So essentially it was elements from the actual product that we just repurposed for the actual launch sequence. So over 3 or 4 days we did that. They mailed their list. They obviously put on the blog and got a lot of buzz around it in their internal community. And obviously I think half of the reason we were able to get that relationship is because we know the guys pretty well, but they came to the event, they sat in the room, they found it good value, they understood it, they were able to contribute to the product by asking questions and being involved in the conversation throughout the actual making of the workshop. And then obviously they felt there was value there for their audience. So that's sort of a big part of inviting key VIPs. And I think we had Ed Dale's 2IC, I guess you'd call him at the time. Rob Somerville was there. We had a couple of James Tramp goes in a circle at the event. So we kind of invited a couple of key people we knew that could potentially be joint venture partners as well. So there was a bit of a, not everyone had to pay to attend that event because we were being strategic about the invites as well. So in terms of what actually came out of this after the fact, to give you some bit of an idea is how we actually packaged up this and actually sold it with the offer. So we actually had a DVD version created, which we didn't sell a whole lot of. We actually priced it at just under $1,700. For a full day course, you can easily justify that, I think, in most marketplaces. Probably people in this room have probably spent that for a 6-hour training program. So we put that on Dave's website, Melbourne SEO Services, so we could authentically say that this thing sells for $1,700. It's not, worth $1,700 that, you see on a lot of sales pages. It's a number that's made out of thin air to sort of make a high price point appearance. This was actually selling, and I think we sold 1 or 2, I think, from memory, not a whole lot. We sold a few at $1,700, so there was integrity in what we were saying. We then turned around to the Samurai community and said $395. So it was a huge discount as well. It was a price position discount exclusive for their audience at the time. So this way there was actually a bonus, that there was some value there in the offer. They were able to send us just over 18,000 clicks. This is from the stats in Dave's affiliate program, which I jumped in earlier to actually pull that numbers out. So just over 18,000 unique clicks came through from their audience, which was 232 unique referrals. Total sales for the launch was just under 70 grand. And to date, obviously with now having the second workshop added in there and obviously selling the course continually over the last couple of years, we've had just shy of 550 people buy the program now. So it's been a very successful product and sequence and revenue stream for us for a one-day workshop we ran in Preston in a hotel's meeting room, not much different to this. And then obviously with a couple of key partners, we've been able to actually launch that successfully, make some good revenue, and turn into a bit of an evergreen kind of course now. And we're going to continue to do that. Maybe later this year or early next year, we'll do the OPM version 3 and then bundle that up. So anyone who comes in to buy version 3 in the future gets 3 workshops and 21 hours worth of content and continues to stack the offer for people. In terms of where we took it after that, I think I just want to touch on some other ideas that you can think of as well of how to actually embrace this and build it even more as another revenue stream for your business. Is what we actually did is we ended up creating, off the back of some demand, an outsourcing done with you program. Where what we actually did is people who went through the course wanted to actually have a lot of it done for them in the same sort of way that Dave mentioned before. People would come through and watch one of his videos for his SEO products or something like this. And people say, look, actually, do you know what? I'm just going to get you to do it for me. I understand the concepts and the theories, but I'm going to get you to do it. So that's what we did, because we have those systems and processes as we hire continually for our various real-world businesses. For those who don't know me, I own a telco company, 3 or 4 e-com sites, some information businesses. So I have my hand in a few different pies, and we have a lot of outsourcers in those various businesses. The one thing I am proud of, though, with a telco, with our outsourcers, they don't do cold calling. So we're not the company that actually calls you from India. That's not what we do with our outsourcers. So we actually started doing this and offering a service on the back end of people who bought the course. We made an offer to them saying, okay, you bought the course, maybe you haven't implemented it yet for various reasons. Let us do it for you. Let us hire that new VA for you. Let us train that person for you. Then work with us over a 3-month period, and we'll jump on calls every 2 weeks and talk you through the hiring or the management process, the growing of your business process, and offered value above and beyond just the actual course as well. So it was a beautiful little upsell for us. It was $2,000 per person. We've run this 3 times, Dave? 2 or 3 times, I think. The outsourcing done with you. 3 times now. And it's been a great little additional revenue source for us off the back of this first product. So that's a bit of an idea of how you can potentially create almost a whole new product stream or division in your business based off running a workshop that generates leads for your real world business through all this marketing stuff Dave's going to talk about later today, but it's a revenue stream in itself, and it can actually become a business unit with additional upsell back-end offers. And something else we've done as well, which I'll just touch on really quickly, is beautiful. Okay, is a repurposing. Because the beautiful thing is, you may have seen that every man and their dog these days seems to be creating these platforms where you can sell courses online. Udemy is probably the most common these days. I think they just raised another $25 million in VC or something ridiculous anyway to grow out their platform. So what we've done is we've repurposed the course. We have the course already selling in our own funnels on our own website and all that sort of stuff, which is fine and dandy, as Dave said. You can go about it as simple and MVP, minimum viable product style as you like, with just a page and a PayPal button and stuff like that. Or you can create your own membership site, which is obviously what we've done for our main distribution channel for the course. But either as a repurposing or as your main distribution platform, udemy.com. It's a platform that allows you for just a percentage of every sale. They'll host your course, they'll do the merchant gateway, they'll take the payment, they'll manage all the tech stuff and give you a check every month with how much money you earned that month in sales. So we've gone and repurposed the course on a whole bunch of platforms like this. So at the time of this screenshot, we had 39 additional students at $400 a pop. So obviously some additional revenue, and we've done nothing at all to promote or market or drive leads to Udemy. It's self-generating. They do their own marketing to grow their own community and their own potential customers and students and things like that. So, for maybe it would have been literally 3 hours work for one of our outsourcers, which is kind of ironic being an outsourcing course. But for 3 or 4 hours of one of our staff's time, they went and just grabbed all the content we already had and put it on Udemy and other places like that. And that's generated, quite a significant amount of additional revenue for 3 hours' time. So this is another way to sort of think about how you can actually use this to sort of helpful marketing. It's people out there going to Udemy and places like this to learn about, different types of things. From everything from, how to hire an outsourcer, how to code, how to do better public speaking. There's a whole bunch of courses on this stuff. And people go there trying to search for, learning opportunities, and it's just additional revenue that can come into you without doing anything at all. So it's another way to sort of repurpose and grow off the back of a single workshop, which is obviously all this authority content is all about.